pandemic of violence floods the streets of major cities as cases of the media-dubbed murder virus, MV20, soar, causing those infected to go on killing sprees. Caught in the middle, police detective Angela Miller finds her only trustworthy ally in the self-proclaimed psychic PI, Gerald Henry. As the two try to navigate the violence, they are drawn into New Age guru Abra Melon Harvest's plot to heal the planet. Harvest's missive?
The world is sick, and humanity is the infection.
The cure? Murder. From the twisted mind of Sean C. Baker, author of A Collection of Desires and Shadow Play in Book 1, Kim and Jesse, comes his most vicious novel yet, Murder Virus. Available where books are sold.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Horror Vision Presents Sharing in Session. I am Sickly Sean.
And I'm Missy.
And this might be a short one, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm sick as fuck. So, Missy, just keep me honest. I'm going to be muting my mic if I cough or sniff or snort or whatever. So I might start talking again and forget to unmute it. So just if you can't hear me, be like, hey, stupid.
Okay,
I'm in
no problem.
almost hallucinatory state here. So, The Burial, Yellowjackets Season 2, Episode 7. We got 2 more.
I can't believe we only have 2 more. That is kind of stressful because I feel like there's still a lot to happen.
So, you know how I was so salty last week about them wasting time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I realized it reminded me a lot of, and this is another thing that I love, but in 2017 with Twin Peaks: The Return, there was like points where I was like, dude, there's 18 episodes and we're on like episode 16. Like there's certain things we haven't seen yet that I'm like, why are we wasting time with some of what you're doing, David Lynch?
We need to get here.
And, you know, with Twin Peaks, David Lynch is David Lynch and he does whatever the fuck he wants, which I love. You know, it's like, that's, you gotta love him if you're a fan.
Mm-hmm.
And so you end up not getting a bunch of shit that you thought you were gonna get. And I mean, there's a main thing that does eventually happen, but it was stressful. Like you said, that's what made me think of it. Like, it was fucking stressful. I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, how? So I felt that way last week. And this week I didn't. Although I will tell you, I just rewatched it.
Okay.
This week's, and I think they're wasting a little bit of time. It's not egregious this time. I think the next big plateau or paradigm shift is going to come probably in the 9th episode. The way season 1, you know, we get Lottie, right, and this cult or whatever it is, like that changes the whole landscape of the series at the end of season 1, and that's the reality of season 2. It's a level up from season 1. We're seeing a bigger world. So I think that's going to happen. And I think they found, so I noticed, I don't know if you noticed, but like, there's not a lot I'm not noticing a lot. Like, as far as there's not a lot of like, oh, wait, I almost didn't notice this the first time. Look, there's this, or like, there's a lot of these scenes. The one that kind of incited this monologue is Shauna going to the meat cabin and being like, Jackie, I need you, or whatever. I just felt like, why the fuck are we? I mean, it didn't irritate me, but I just was like, I feel like there's a little rudderlessness here because they're like, we can't quite get to A, B, and C yet, so we got to put it off. So some emotional moments that, you know, while they're valid and they give us a window into the character, I don't think that scene, for one, gave us a window into Shauna in any way that we hadn't already had a window into her.
Right.
So.
She's already, I mean, unless it's just to kind of highlight that she's unraveling.
That's true. I mean, which we definitely right. Like the set piece of the episode is the final sequence. Well, there's the phone call that's like the addendum, but where I gotta say I hate the fucking song they chose. However, they did a really good job with it, and also I realize I'm in the minority, and my opinion is whatever. I'm not going to inflict on other people and be like they shouldn't have used this. I get why they used it. They were smart.
Wait,
Using
what
it as
song are
that
we talking?
Angel song by Live. I fucking hate. Oh God,
Oh, okay.
And I know you said that you associate it with Boys and Trees, which
Yeah, Iris. I think the song is called Iris, not Angel.
okay. I just know
But
that he
either way,
says
yeah, I
Angel.
associate it with Boys and Trees because it's the song that Death is singing.
Yeah, I hate it
Because
too.
it's slowed down and it, you know, it's slowed down and like I think the key has changed. It's
Yeah, in that
but that song used to irritate me. Now I just associate it with Boys and Trees.
Well, and that happens, right? Like there are songs I couldn't give
And
you an example, but there's songs that I hate that when it's fucking Freebird, right? Rob Zombie's Devil's Rejects. I love Freebird because of that fucking
right.
movie.
Well, because sometimes they'll pick, they'll use songs that like it works in the context they're
Yeah,
using it in. Kind of like Lee and Bones and All with the Kiss song. Like it had to be that song.
it did. And I don't like we've talked about this on an episode. So for
Right.
listeners, we've got episodes about both Bones and All, and we've got an episode about Boys and Trees, so they're out there. I just have a particular there's just certain bands that came out on major labels in the wake of Nirvana, and I'm not the world's biggest
Okay.
Nirvana fan, although holy shit, the opening
Yeah.
to this with Something in the Way,
Oh,
and I like
I
they used
loved
the
it.
whole fucking song, which is smart because they paid through the fucking nose for that song, so it's like you might as well use the whole song if you're paying that much money.
But it sets the tone so well.
So well.
That opening scene with the black and white scenescape with the snow, how hard it's snowing and everything. You see it in all the trees, and then with the opening Nirvana song, it really sets that mood that
Yeah,
they're isolated and feeling very alone, even though they're all crammed in that cabin together, driving each other crazy. Um, it just sets this very oppressive, trapped energy.
yeah. But yeah, just Live, and there's just certain bands that I anyway, whatever. So what did you think about the burial overall, or like any key discoveries or
I I I really liked in this case. Usually, I'm just chomping at the bit for more of like the 1996 story. In this case, I was much more interested in what was going on in the present day at the Purple People Cult. Um, this I did like the opener, and there is one key scene in the past that I do want to talk about, but I do agree with a little bit of the time. It felt more of a time waster to me that we went through all that stuff with the dead baby and the like Thaisa trying to get Shauna to respond, and then she has it all wrapped up and she like buries it. Well, she doesn't even bury it. She just kind of builds a rock pyre over it.
like a cairn.
But I mean, or cairn, that's the word I'm trying to think of. All right, yeah, a rock cairn over it. But I mean, the first hungry animal that comes through there is just going to knock it over and eat it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get that she's like fucked up and attached, but they're starving. Like it seems like a waste to just bury it under some rocks and leave it there for an animal to get it when they need food. But
Agreed.
you know, that bothered me. And like, I get the sentimentality behind it, but you're all starving to death. Like that, you can't. It's just wasteful, and it bothered me. But oh, the one key scene that really stuck out for me in this episode is the scene with Coach Ben and Misty. When he's about to commit suicide and give up and check out, and I don't blame him. Like,
Yeah.
But the whole scene, and then that interaction between him and Misty, and she's trying all these different things to trigger him, and none of it's working. And it's not until she like genuinely freaks out that I couldn't save the baby and whatnot. That well, actually, we don't know because it ends right there, right? Because I didn't get a rewatch, so we don't know if he jumped.
No, he doesn't jump.
Or did she stop him? She does stop him. Okay.
He moves away.
Okay.
And it's she goes through I can't have another death on my hands, blah 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 blah. And then I'll tell that you tried to impregnate me, that you impregnated Shauna. I'll tell the whole world.
She tries all this stuff.
Yeah.
And none of it.
She says, I'll tell the whole world you're gay, and she still doesn't know he's gay. And that's when he's like, oh, good. Yes. Like, please. Because it's like I took it as like, I can't tell them. So please tell everybody. And then I might be mixing.
No, she knows he's gay.
No, I don't think she knows he's gay.
I thought he told her at the end of season 1.
Did he?
He said I'm in love with Paul. I know he tells Matt.
Oh, well, okay. You're probably right. You are probably right.
I think she knows he's gay. I'm pretty sure that he did tell her at the end of season 1. I could be either way.
You're probably right, but it's
she's manipulative and she knows how to press buttons. So
yeah, but that's the wrong button. So,
but none of those things worked. It wasn't until she was like for a minute she just kind of breaks.
Yeah, and then he doesn't do it. But he smiles. And I actually, in my notes, I don't have a lot of notes, but one of my notes was like, what's up with Ben's smile?
Right.
And I gotta say, I told Kirsten, dude, what if he's still alive? I mean, he's like the low-hanging fruit since season 1, right? Like you're just assuming the whole time this guy's gonna end up getting eaten. This guy's gonna, but I don't know. It would be an interesting turn of events if he lives, and I mean he would have no contact with them, so I don't know what it would what would happen that would bring him back into the story. I mean, they could easily do it, but I'm just saying as things stand now, it's not like he's gonna like call one of them up out of the blue or something like that, or
right.
But I don't know. I mean, he surprised me to no end. I did really like that scene because I didn't. I find I really like the guy. Like I want him to survive.
Too. And he might. I mean, at any time, anyone that we haven't seen confirmed one way or the other can go either way.
Yep.
Because I mean, we were all convinced Van was dead, and then we got adult Van.
Yeah. So you totally nailed it. She has cancer, and I
got that vibe immediately. That's why I asked you, because I hadn't been able to read the pill bottle.
Oh, the drug label, yeah.
Right, that's why I had asked you what it was, because my immediate thought was that what she told Ty about her mother dying of cancer was that it was actually her, and they were her meds. Because when she pulled him out of the garbage, she also she didn't look like a junkie.
No.
So I just got that feeling that she was sick. So now we know she is sick. And it sounds like it's very aggressive cancer.
Yeah. So that just strengthens my resolve that they are going to try and use this connection. I mean, you heard it this time, like where they're like, oh, maybe, what was it? It's like Jen and Melissa. I think Melissa's the girl in the pink cap that all of a sudden the blonde hair we're seeing a lot more of
She
in the
must be. She's got to be, because I saw something online where it was talking about different characters, and it said something about Melissa, which got my attention since it's my name. And I'm like, wait, who is Melissa? And that was the answer I came up with. It's got to be the blonde girl,
yeah,
the one in the baseball hat.
and then the
She
other
was the
one
only one I didn't recognize.
she's always talking to is Jen, but it's spelled with a G, so I don't know if it's
Mm-hmm.
like, but lost my.
Okay. Well, I do think they are going to try some kind of ritual, because this episode was all about them coming together and reconnecting.
Yes, definitely.
Because we get everybody come, they all do come together. And I know you and I had talked about briefly that, like via text message, that they were, that they were acting weird. And that they were acting weird, not like themselves. And I think that has a lot to do with them, like they're reconnecting, and this is the first time some of them have seen each other in 25 years.
Yeah.
With these people, not only are they facing their shared trauma, but if anybody they don't have to hide anything.
Yeah.
So they can let those walls down, and then like that feeling is intoxicating especially when you don't see close friends for a while, and then you get back together. It's an intoxicating feeling. And I think they're just they're not being false. They're just getting carried away by being together again and not having to hide.
Yeah, I agree that. So I think the thing that really, like, when I text you, like, there's a level of like unreality where I'm not sure it stems from Nat and the fact that I literally can't tell if she drank the Kool-Aid completely or if she's playing some kind of a long game. I literally don't know.
I'm not sure either. We had talked about a couple times that she seemed like she was getting something from it. That she was getting something from it, and her relationship with Lisa, which has, I think, really shifted her perspective. The fact that somebody thinks she's worth something and forgives her for doing something terrible to her. I think that is opening her up more than being here at the Purple People Cult. But I think she may also, I think it's helping her, and she's trying to be more open to it. I don't think that she has completely drank the Kool-Aid, but she might be playing it.
Well, so that's a thing. I think that too. That's exactly, like, it's definitely helped her. And so it's not that I don't believe it's helped her. You are right. She does not drink. There's 5 shot glasses and there's 6 of them there. She's got a can of soda or a glass of water with a straw. She turns it down, but then when Lottie brought out and you see the revelry, I wasn't positive that
Did she drink?
She does
later
not drink.
Then? I thought
so. She does not drink at all. So she is definitely reaping benefits. It's just the way she talks about it doesn't sound like, even if she was reaping benefits, it doesn't sound like the way Natalie would tell her friends that it's helped her. Like, she's just talking in a way where it sounds like she's trying to really like take Lottie off guard. I don't know.
Well, and that may also be part of. I was pretty sure she didn't drink, and we've seen her turn it uh, down once before. The whole not today, but I think that here, if she if she is trying to play it up to catch Lottie off guard, that would also be a reason. Like she would need to, she wouldn't want to get fucked up and not have control of what's going on. She needs to keep her mind intact. Yeah, I think she's. I mean, I don't think she drinks the Kool-Aid. I think she's playing it up.
Okay.
I mean, I think she has found some benefit in it. But there is no way that she went through all that shit with them 25 years ago and that now she never believed Lottie. There's no way she's suddenly all in, but she still wants to know what happened to Travis, and I think she's now that she's realizing that we brought it back with us. Maybe she wants to get better control of herself.
Well, that's the key, I think, is when she says, like, we brought some dark stuff back with us, and she said that in the previous episode, and then she says maybe this can help us deal with it. We can finally start dealing with it. Now we're all together and we're here. So we get a shout out to one of our listeners, Katie Van Warmer, who I was throwing texts with her after the episode where she first sees the new shrink, and I was like, oh, it's like a plant from some bigger organization. She's like, it's a vision. I'm like, no way, it's fucking vision. So shout out. But you notice the antler queen that is sitting across from her when she, that scene concludes, and we get the revelation that, like, oh shit, she's not been going to a shrink. She's been sitting in a room talking to herself. It's her. I'm 99.9% sure that's Lottie so in other words, I think that whatever this is, the onset, it will turn her into like an avatar for this thing. And I wonder if Nat remembers that she was an avatar for it previously, and so is trying to let her, like, get Lot to let her guard down so she can, do this, and then Nat can somehow barter with it, attack it, question it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, come face to face with this darkness.
She needs it to manifest. I was kind of thinking that too. Because she's playing it. You're right. She's not talking, like, she's not quite talking like herself. Like,
no.
It doesn't feel natural. It feels like she's playing it up.
Yeah. I mean, she may very well have found empowerment, which she'll never drink again. This is the
first time we've seen her, like, in the last couple episodes, she was still wearing her own clothes, but she was wearing the purple sweater.
Yeah.
Here, she's wearing all purple, and, like, the main garment is a dress.
Yeah.
Like some kind of purple dress.
Everything about her.
Which is right. And I agree. That's what I was thinking. She's coming at Lottie by force was not working.
Yep.
And she has made some progress with some of the things they're doing. So it's the same. And she would definitely know this, especially having been their hunter. Make them think I'm weak when I'm strong. So play into it, act like I drink the Kool-Aid, and I'll find out more than being, a bull in a china shop.
Yeah, exactly. Which is also appears to be growth for her character, so that's good. Like, normally she would just like, bring a hammer and start hammering, but no, it's like
right. So I think she's leaning into it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Now, what is and you just watched it again. So we end with Shauna and Lottie, correct?
Well,
Okay.
it's
with
cut
the
between the dance around the fire in the snow in present day to the live song,
okay.
and then
Okay.
cut
That's
with
right.
them Shauna beating the shit out of Lottie.
Yeah. Okay. And she tells her to let it out.
Says we
To,
need you, just let it out.
okay. And like, all right, she looks like she beat that girl to death. Like, I think
Yeah,
I mean, it looks like, I mean, that last shot where you see her like breathe and the blood bubble out of her mouth and it looks like her teeth are all like, she beat the fuck out of that girl.
yeah,
To the point where she looked dead.
yeah.
For a minute, I was feeling like, okay, is she gonna die in the
That's what I
wilderness?
thought too. I was like, wait a minute, holy shit.
Like, because that goes way past, like, she smashes it, like, her face is mangled.
Yeah. I definitely got that sense too, where I was like, Jesus Christ, is she gonna fucking kill her? Because because there is gonna be something that's gonna happen in the next, I hope, 2 episodes that's gonna be a game changer, right? And so I was like, is that the game changer? Does she die? But no.
Right, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Does she die and it brings her back?
Yeah. But does it heal her?
Leveled up?
That would
Or
be an
does it
interesting.
kill her?
So that could be
where we're going, because I mean, like she's got to have major damage. She looks like she beat her to like the brink of death.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't like a cop show where like you could do that and then the guy gets up and he's like, "All right, I'll meet you for coffee later." Like, they're pretty. It's an intentional community show. So everything is intentional, like we talked about before. The writing is very intentional. So there's a reason she went that far, right? And I mean, it would make sense if so. The next episode is called "It Chooses," which would be obviously nature, right? I'm assuming.
Okay.
But I
So
didn't
maybe
watch like
it chooses Lottie.
right, but also so that kind of echoes what she said. I know where I was going before with Melissa and Jen, where they're like, "Oh, but isn't that how it works?" Or whatever. She's like, "No, it doesn't trade. Like it." She might have even said it. No, she says it hears us and we hear it or whatever. So I'm wondering if she is so bad that she needs to be healed. She heals, and then that echoes into the present day where it's like, well, look, of course it can heal Van. It healed her and she almost died. So we'll see.
Yeah, that could work. Because that would make, I mean, especially because that would be something they could all see. And again, if they're doing it because Van is dying and they're doing it for their friend, because I still feel like some of them are going to be like, no, I'm not, like, this ritual stuff did not go well for us before. I'm not doing it again. But it's a little different when you're trying to save someone's life.
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, let's talk about the other major scene that I think we haven't touched on yet, and that's I loved the isolation tank. You know, I spent I don't know 5 sessions in Float Lab in Westwood when I was in LA in March, and I love that. I also when Misty was like, I don't want to go in there. Like I'm like, I feel like she would have some knowledge, but whatever. I'm not nitpicking the show. I'm just saying, like, I guess personally, I was like, bitch, I had to pay like $60 for a couple hours. Like, you're getting it for free. Come on. But I loved they used that because that would definitely be there. And then, I mean, just the complete insanity of what she, you've got at first. So first of all, oh God, what is that? It was just in my head. I just looked it up. The first thing I thought when she goes into that song and dance, what is that horror movie It's Italian from the early 80s. Stage Fright, not the recent one. And the recent one's not a remake. There's an old one, and it opens with this guy. It's like a musical about a killer, and there's a guy in an owl mask that's like enormous, and he like jumps out and starts dancing. And I'll never forget.
Of it. I don't think I've ever seen Stage Fright, but
Oh my
I do
God.
know what it is.
My boss lent at some point, somebody like Scream Factory, somebody put it out like within the last 10 years, and it got like, you know, it's kind of some modern traction. But my boss lent that to me like when I started. And I just remember I was like, at first I was like, I don't know about this movie. And as soon as the owl mask thing happened, I'm like, this is fun. I don't even care what happens after this. This is amazing. And I feel like this was kind of a nod to that, but then I realized, oh, it's not an owl, it's an African gray, and it's obviously it's Caligula, and they got
it's Caligula.
They got John Cameron Mitchell, who played Hal in Netflix's Sandman, and I thought he nailed that fucking character. I'm a big fan of Sandman Doll's House, so I love all the characters that Rose encounters when she's in Hal's house, and I love Hal, and I thought he did a really good job. And he was awesome as fucking Caligula, like.
And it was just so, like, when that happened, I watched these when they drop on Thursday night, and so it's like 1:00 in the morning, and I'm watching this, and she goes in the tank, and it's like, okay, I'm wondering what she's gonna see, and then it launches into this crazy musical with this bird, and like it's really bizarre and funny and creepy and wonderful all at the same time.
Yeah. And then it leads to that really, really weird phone call where then it like, you know, she calls and leaves Walter a message, and then
for Walter.
Like at the end where she's like, you hang up now, you hang up now, you hang up now. And it's like, oh bitch, like holy shit.
Oh bitch, you're like, crazy.
Oh my God. Wow.
Well, and she admits to being involved on his answering machine.
She admits to being involved on his answer machine. Good call. I didn't even think of that because I still think I don't know that I think that he's into her. I'm still wondering if he's still trying to like you know, set her up. Also, just a little thing. She's like, and it's so random. She's like, blah blah blah. Oh, and your grandmother sounds wonderful. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, thus proving she didn't listen to a word he said because he said Tatiana or whatever the fuck her name is.
Svetlana was not his mother.
Yeah, Svetlana's not my grandma. You know, it's just like somebody I knew that was like getting evicted or whatever. So, man, she's fucking nuts, dude.
She's so nuts. But yeah, the one thing that from that whole phone call, I was kind of mortified by the fact that she just admitted to being involved in a murder on his answering machine.
Yeah, not too smart.
Because she told him that he was right. Because now she's decided that she's like in love with him or something.
I loved when she's like, you know, they're having girl talk, and she's like, you know, but when you know, and then was it? Van's like, does he know?
I love her.
Oh man, yeah, Lauren Ambrose, man. I got to get you to see Servant, and I don't know how to do it because I still have Apple TV, but it's like, it's not like normal. It's not like Showtime, right? Like it's through my Apple account. So I don't know, like I don't know how to share it because it's through, like when I like I'm logged into my computer, you know what I mean? So it's not like a separate
and it knows
thing.
You're on the Apple device.
Yeah. So, but
yeah, I love her. I obviously have not seen Servant because it's a you know, an Apple TV thing, which I don't have.
They make it rather hard. Well, I guess if you could probably get it, but I'm also not recommending that you do that. I mean, it might end up being more cost effective at some point, like Prime Day, you know, Apple TV for, you know, 99 cents for 3 months. Then I'll be like, hey, if you can get it, that's the time to get it, right? But, I mean, I don't know that there's a couple things on it, but that's definitely like, I just get it for that.
Van has become one of my favorite characters. I mean,
very, very much so. Very much so.
And she's another one where both her her young adult and her adult versions are like I love both of them.
Yeah, and they're just so again, like Lauren Ambrose came into it the exact opposite of everybody else. Like
Right, because
she
she
wasn't
had to learn to
the
mirror
younger
the
actress,
future.
yes, as opposed to the other way. And oh man, where you could tell like Sophie Thatcher like studied Juliette Lewis,
Juliette
you
Lewis.
know. And she just does such a great job. And the reason I brought up Servant is because it's such a sharp, like it, you know, there's no
Big difference.
yeah, there's no like overlap whatsoever. They're just such
Okay.
different fucking characters.
But yeah, I love when Van interjects those kind of snarky comments in between because it always sounds like something we would say.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I'm expecting Walter to pop up in the next episode.
I am too.
Like there is no way he went home. He's there.
He's there.
He's there investigating something. He's there. There would be no reason to bring him into it and then just have him leave.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the next two are bangers, or at least you know like the next.
I think
one
they're
might
going to be because I mean that's how the first season worked.
Although I didn't think
building.
The last episode of the first season, I don't think is a banger. Like I remember watching it the night it aired, and I was like, oh, like it's cool that they're all together and there's like repercussions, but it's not till the last like minute where you get, you know, the phone call from the banker that Natalie had looking in, you know, she's like, tell me who.
Well, Doom Coming was the banger, and then the next episode was the aftermath.
Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking it might be the opposite, where we might spend the first half of the next episode building, and then it'll go nuts, have like a complete like, you know, go to black.
Like just a stop. Okay.
Yeah, and then you know the next. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I trust them implicitly, and I don't. Even though, like I do think that they've written themselves into saying like we're gonna have to draw things out just a little bit. None of it's bad, you know. I mean, just so everybody understands.
It's character development.
Yeah, I mean, I still the last episode, I still don't love the fact that they wasted time with you know cutting back and forth to something that wasn't real, but I'm over it. I just bring it up now because I don't feel that.
I think that is also trying to make a point because we're seeing it happen more and more, where you'll be in the middle of the episode and then you get that static and you kind of their realities are blurring. I think it's going to happen more. We're probably going to get more of it in the next season.
Yeah,
things get more crazy and they go further down the rabbit hole because there's going. I mean, in order to get to the point where the series opens with the pit girl and like they're going to have to go full on like feral. They're gonna leave the real world for a while.
And now I'm wondering if you know how you were saying earlier, like when Shauna puts the baby's corpse in a cairn, and you're like, just the first hungry animal can come over and knock that. Well, I actually wonder if it's gonna be Mari. You know what I mean? Like,
Maybe.
I think somebody's gonna eat it. I think somebody's gonna get caught because look at that vision. We're seeing that repeatedly, Shauna's vision of them eating that baby. So if somebody actually and they don't know that. Well, now I guess they do because she's yelling about it. But if somebody does that, that could definitely lead into that opening scene.
Yeah, maybe Mari's not eat the mouse. She's gonna eat the baby.
And that conversation with Jen and Melissa, where they're like, "Oh, you know, I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing if she was dead. I mean, I don't want her to be dead, but you know, I mean, like,
but they're hungry. They're starving."
That felt very strategic, so that makes me wonder if that's going to be that camp, like those three, and then, you know, they do something like that. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe Mari's not going to eat the mouse. She's going to eat the baby. And I mean, Mari, she continues every time you hear something, you know, somebody in the group say something that is super fucked up, it's always her.
Yep.
Because I mean, even the previous episode during the birth, when before they do the ritual, when Lottie says, let's share our hope, you know, with the wilderness for the baby and everything. And the first thing is Mari. Wilderness, I hope Shauna doesn't die.
Yeah.
Like she's everything out of her. She's like a natural instigator for everything.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well that's episode 7, the burial. So we got 2 left. So we will reconvene in the wilderness next week. And until then, I will try and heal.
Stay alive.
I'm gonna ask the wilderness to, help me out here. So for the Horror Vision sharing in session, I'm Sean.
And I'm Missy.
And
we'll see you next week.
good eating.